Hey, what's up, Hello News family? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk, our podcast where we talk to dope people in the community doing dope things. And today is no different. I am so excited to have our next guest on. She is someone that I've been wanting to talk to for a very long time, specifically around, her work and involvement with the Virginia Key Beach and the trust. But also, too, I wanted to get to know her, especially after doing more research on the issue and just also learning more about people who knew her. I was like, I want to get to know her and get to know her story for myself and also to share it with our audience. We have done a lot of coverage of Virginia Key Beach and given background and information. But to me, the one part of the story that was missing was Commissioner Christine King's side of it. And just in all fairness, Hilo News, we're journalism, we're news for the community, and we need to tell both sides. And so I was like, we have to have her on the show. I've even been a public critic of her. And to me, I feel like, you know what, that wasn't fair. I need to be able to tell both sides and be fair in our coverage. So I'm so excited that she decided to come on the show. She's been very gracious and very open to speak with me and very honest. And so I hope you guys enjoy the interview. And without further ado, welcome to our show, Commissioner Christine King. Welcome to the show, Commissioner King. I am so happy to have you today. You have been one of these people that I've been wanting to interview for a very long time. You've been a very popular figure in the community lately. And I was like, it is time that you come to Hilo News and share your story and share who you are and just let people know, what you're all about, because I just feel like it's needed. And also too, we talked about Trapping Ain't Dead and you coming on there. We're going to do that at a separate time, but I wanted to share with the Hilo News audience who you are. So Commissioner King, tell me about your background and the work that you did before politics.
Before I became Commissioner King, I worked for Miami-Dade County. I worked for a commissioner myself. I did constituent services. And that is when I fell in love with public service and service. Then I transitioned to Community Action Agency. I was a county employee for 15 years, a little bit more because I took some time off to have my family. And I also went to law school while I worked for Miami-Dade County. Once I became an attorney, I left and hung a shingle. I've been a sole practitioner ever since. And I also became the president CEO of the Martin Luther King Economic Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit that serves the families in the Liberty City community. And then from there, I became Commissioner King.
That's what's up. And so what specific neighborhood are you from in Miami? And Hilo News, we like to keep it hyper local and connect people to community. So where are you from?
Okay, well, I was born in Guyana. My parents immigrated to this country. My father came on a student visa. And unfortunately, my mom and dad's marriage didn't make it. And my mom had no family in this country. She met a coworker. She worked for Cordis Corporation on 36th Street. She met her best friend there, and they took us in when my mom and dad's marriage fell apart. So I grew up on 38th Street, 38th and 10th. And I went to Santa Clara Elementary School, Alapata Elementary School. And then my mom got her own place. We were living in a efficiency, me, my mom, and my brother, over in what is now the Design District. And from there, we were there for a while, and then we moved to what is unincorporated Miami-Dade County, which is, I went to I went to Westview Middle and Miami Central. And I graduated from Miami Central.
Oh, you're a rocket.
I am a rocket. And I went to Miami-Dade Community College. Now it's Miami-Dade College, but back then it was Miami-Dade Community College. They just passed last year, inducted me into the Miami-Dade College Alumni Hall of Fame. Nice. I got my undergraduate degree from Barry University, and I received my Juris Doctorate from Nova Southeastern.
That's what's up. So you're homegrown, like you're truly, your roots run deep here in Miami and South Florida. So that's what's up. And I wanted, to be able to break that down for our audience so they know like the connection to the community. I wanted to know if there are any specific experience or values from your family that has shaped you as the woman and the leader that you are today.
Absolutely. When my parents divorced, my father moved to New York City. So basically my mother raised me and my brother single parent, and she was fierce. I don't know, I stand straight up and I'm 5 feet tall, and she might be an inch taller than me. And she taught me so much about a work ethic. She worked hard. Sometimes she had to work 2 jobs to keep us. She protected us. Nobody could mess with us. My mom was something else. And she gave us the value of family. Me and my brother, we are so close. If we fought with each other, she'd beat us. And she'd say, the 2 of you are not to fight with each other, because if something happens to me, you're all you have in this world. You don't fight each other. You stick together. You love each other. And growing up, that's what we did. If you mess with him, you mess with me. We've been in some fights. We double team some people.
That's how it goes.
That's how it is. You stand up, whether the other person needs it or not. You jumping in, and that's what we did. I grew up on Moore Park. I learned tried to learn how to play tennis. Coach Crow was my tennis instructor. I'm really bad at tennis, though. Not his fault. Just I was really bad at tennis, and through being with my mom and the different experiences that we've had going to inner city schools has shaped who I am. And this is Black History Month. And every single event that I've attended, and we talk about it, and I say, hey, I'm Black every day.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get away from it. I'm Black every day. And I do what is necessary to uplift our community. And that's what my service is about, uplifting our community.
And that's a perfect segue, because I wanted to know, what was the motivation for you to get into politics? What was that aha moment for you?
The aha moment was, for me, in being the president CEO of MLK EDC, I made a tremendous difference in that community through my practice and through that office. I did a lot of pro bono work. I saw a lot of need. I saw a lot of people being taken advantage of. And just by me getting involved, I was able to help so many people. And if I could do that on a greater platform, becoming an elected official, then I believe that is what I was called to do. That is what I was called to do. I take that very seriously. There's so many things that I do that never comes to light because it's personal and it's private. In helping people, I do a lot of work with the homeless, but that's not the kind of thing that I would promote, because we're talking about people's lives, and that's not something that you share for a like. Mm-hmm. That's not something that you publicize, and we have a lot of that. I had a gentleman come to me. I have what is called Constituent Tuesdays, because I didn't want to be that politician where you go and you ask people to vote for you, and then they don't see you again until it's time to be elected. And my campaign, I knocked on doors. I did a grassroots campaign, me personally, knocked on doors, and I met people, and I said, no, this won't be the last time you see me. And when I got into office, I instituted what I call Constituent Tuesdays. The first Tuesday of every month, I make myself available. You can come and see me. You don't need an appointment. You just show up. And I tell you, they come and they show up. And I have between 20 and 25 appointments that whole day. It's not people, because there are more people, because they come in. It might be 2 come, 3 come. One time, the Alumni Association of Booker T. Washington came to see me because they wanted me to assist in naming a street after one of their classmates. And I'm doing that. And we put the ball rolling. And I was saying how at the MLK parade, I met this young man, and he asked about a job. He came to see me Constituent Tuesday, and he said, Commissioner King, you said you would help me get a job at the parade. And I was like, man, what? Okay, But I said, okay, I made a call. He's working.
Nice.
So those are the kind, and I used to do that at MLK. I felt like I was an employment agency because people would tell me they have these jobs available, and then someone would come all the time and say, I need a job. And I would put the two together. And that, I believe, is what public service is about. It's about putting people together with the services that they need. So through Constituent Tuesday, I have also what we do ride-alongs for different communities. The associations call me, and it's me, it's the Public Works Director, it's the Office of Capital Improvement Director, and the Code Enforcement Director. And we go with the neighbors, drive the neighborhood, identify their concerns, and then we work on it. And we address it, we fix it. And if I drive by a trash pile, I'm calling solid waste because I'm cleaning up our district one street at a time. My team is amazing. I have district offices in every location of District 5, and they are out there. They're serving the community. They're answering the questions, the issues. And if they can't do it, they elevate it to me, and then I get involved and we get it done. And I'm proud of the work that we're doing. I'm extremely, particularly with my my first time homeowners program. That is my answer, my response to gentrification. Is we can't stop it, but we can mitigate it. And I put together a first time homeowners program where if you can qualify for $200,000, a mortgage for $200,000, I will hold a second mortgage of up to $200,000. Wow. I've partnered with Bank of America. They will assist with up to $17,500 of closing costs and down payment assistance. And I was able to get organizations to stack benefits like MD. MD will jump in and provide assistance as well. The city of Miami will jump in and provide assistance so that, for example, if you were purchasing a home for $300,000, your mortgage would be $90,000. And that creates generational wealth because it allows us to, in this housing market, this is my answer to affordable housing. It allows us to own our own home. And that is one. When I get somebody in their house, I've done my job. I have done my job because that is transformative. That is transformative, and it is changing people's lives and the trajectory of their life. And qualifying for $200,000, but being able or more, being up to $500,000, that gives you a real opportunity to purchase a home in District 5. So it's those things that I do that gets me out of bed every morning to say, what else? What else can I do? How else can I help our community? This is our community because our family, my parents are 81 years old. I have brothers and sisters. I have nieces and nephews. My whole approach to service is uplifting the family.
I love that you broke that down because I wanted you to share like the initiatives that you're working on. I wanted to know, what is a common misconception that people have about your job as a City of Miami commissioner, and that you want them to know like about that? That's not really what it is. Like, what's a common misconception that you would say?
The biggest one is all politicians are crooks. We're all crooks. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't have to speak for anyone else, but for the most part, and the politicians that I have met, their base is service and they want to serve their community. And that's what it's about. I'm a lawyer. I have a job. You know what I mean? I've done well for myself, and service is not easy. Service is not easy. It is hard to take on the issues and the concerns of others and try to help. I had a call one Friday around 3:30. An elderly woman, 75 years old, had gotten evicted. And she's just sitting outside with her stuff.
Mm.
And immediately you think, my God, what if that was my mom? What, and thank goodness that throughout my career, I have laid a foundation for this, because I'm also on the board of the Camilla's House. So I call them right up and I say, hey, I have a problem. I need someone to help her. And they got her. They put her stuff in storage, and she had a place to lay her head that night. That kind of stuff, you unless you don't have a heart, you don't lay that down. We talked about James. That is troubling. That is troubling. So you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, or the weight of District 5. I met a young lady at Constituent Tuesday, and she said, Commissioner, I want to thank you for Farm Share, because that is how I supplement my food, because I don't have enough for the month. Don't stop it. It's that kind of stuff, where folks might think this is all glitz and glamour. It's not. That's not that for me. That's not even a part of it. That's not even a part of it. And I said this publicly. I was in a meeting and I said, every time I speak in public, I'm nervous, because I'm really at my core shy, private. I'm a very private person, and I'm an introvert. I've never had social media ever until I became a candidate. And I don't even really know how to work social media. My staff does it. And my social media is informative. You don't see anything on there about me other than my mother and father. Like, I celebrate my mom and my dad, but my children, I don't post anything about my children. My mom, her birthday is this month, and she's going to be 81, and she's going to be a part of my Black History celebration. And on Instagram, we are saluting our local heroes, because we know so much about Frederick Douglass and Martin Luther King, but we don't know about our local heroes who were here making a difference in our community. Just the other day, they highlighted my pediatrician, Dr. Simpson. Nice. Black woman pediatrician in Liberty City. And that's the kind of thing that excites me when I'm doing stuff like that. And my guiding light is doing what I believe is right. And that's what guides me. That and my faith.
That's what's up. As the only Black person, the only Black woman on the City of Miami Commission, what do you think is the significance of that? And what example do you want to lay for the people in the community watching you and wanting to follow in your footsteps?
It is an honor. It is an honor. And it is a tremendous responsibility, because I walk in the footsteps of greatness. M. Athley Range, Barbara Carey Schuler, Arthur Teal, who was a genius, and I think, wow. And I never think of myself as, to me, this isn't anything special, because I'm doing what I love, but I also appreciate that I am a role model for our young women. And I'm telling you, like, when you look back, I went to Miami-Dade Community College, and I went there for 9 years. It was a 2-year program. We all don't have it together. I didn't graduate top of my class at Miami Central. I didn't jump into college and go straight through and become an attorney. And everyone's path is different, and there's no perfect path. It's what is best for you. So I share with young people, hey, I went to a community college for 9 years, but I didn't give up. I stuck with it. And look at where I am now. And one of the biggest things that I preach is follow your dreams, do what you love, and the world will open up for you. You know, there are obviously people that will try to stop you from achieving your goals and your dreams. And that's why like with Trapping Ain't Dead, I'm here for that, because we need all of it. We need high-low news, where we're a little dignified and um,
I wanted to come nice for you today.
and you have. And then we need also Trapping Ain't Dead. You know, it's a balance, and we have to balance. And listen, I would be just as comfortable on Trapping Ain't Dead as I am here, because I'm from the community. You know, we can do it both ways. We can get it in any way we need to get it in.
It was very evident. And so, you know, talking offline, and honestly, I love that energy. Like you mentioned, like, do I have to come with Black Air Force One's energy? I was like, oh, she gets it. Okay, she is not what I thought. And honestly, just in full transparency, you know, to my audience, this is my first time even connecting with you or even meeting you. So hopefully we get to meet in person one day. But I'm, you know, so grateful for you coming on and really breaking down your story. You know, before I let you go, I wanted to ask you, just switching gears a little bit, because Virginia Key Beach has been so prevalent in the news locally. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to touch on those things for our audience. I wanted to know from you, what is a common misconception you think the community has about your involvement with the Virginia Key Beach Trust and the removal of it? Like, what do you think that people get wrong about what your involvement is?
There's so much misinformation about the Virginia Key Beach Trust and what happened. One of the things is that there's so much, I don't even know where to begin. One is that the trust was replaced so disrespectfully, and I'm going to do any number of things with that space. And that's just not true. The folks that were advocating to restore the trust, I believe that they had the right intentions, but when all of that happened, and I had to sit and take a look back and what am I going to do? And I spoke to elders in the community and asked for their advice, because as that unfolded, it happened in real time. I had to make a decision on what I was going to do in real time. I didn't have any time to prep for that. I wanted to propose a change in the makeup of the trust. And I had gone to the chair of the trust at the time and spoke to him about the changes that I wanted to make. I said to him that I would like to help him realize his grandmother's vision, and this is what I'd like to do. And he said, I don't have a problem with that. So one misconception was that it was disrespectful. And no, because that's not who I am. I went to him. We had dinner together. And I shared with him what I thought would be the next best step for the trust.
To Patrick Raines, just for anybody out there.
Correct.
He's the leading voice from the trust.
Correct. So my chief of staff and Patrick Raines actually went to law school together. Mm-hmm. So there was a connection there. And we sat down and we had dinner together. And I shared what I wanted to do. And he said, I don't have a problem with that. And then we get to the commission meeting, and my colleagues have a different idea. And if anybody is familiar with politics in the city of Miami, you need 3. You got to be able to count to 3. And I didn't have the votes to move my agenda. And it was, Madam Chair, you be the chair of this, and we'll give you 2 appointees, or one of us will be the chair. So in that moment, and if you watch the commission meeting, you see me and my chief of staff having a heated discussion, because I didn't want to be chair. I said, no, I don't want to do that. And she's like, you don't have a choice. And then we looked over, and I'm getting the signal. So in that moment, I had to decide, Am I going to be the chair, or am I going to allow one of my colleagues to be the chair?
Mhm.
Now, what would have been worse? So I took it. And then I started digging in. And then I had to grapple with, well, since 2004, there was $15 million, and then another $5 million added to that, $20 million on the table to build a museum. And 18 years later, it hadn't been done. In 2016 is when the proposal was made to Miami-Dade County, who has the money, the $20 million, and that proposal was rejected. And since 2016, there has not been anything else done. The folks that work at Virginia Key Beach, they are amazing. They do great work. And I have not spoken out against anyone. And I've taken all of the criticism in stride. Thank you. All of the criticism. But I understood that there were people with other motivations working. And I can tell you, if they had used 1/10 of the energy that they used to restore the trust for 18 years, you would have had a museum. If they had made that level of noise that they have made to restore the trust, you would have had a museum by now. But that was yesterday. And today, I am charged with realizing that dream. So now we move forward. I've appointed 2 members of our community born in Miami, grew up in Miami, understands the issues of Virginia Key Beach, and understands the historic value of that space. And I have said, whatever is done there is going to be historically and environmentally appropriate, respectful. I've appointed an interim executive director, Neil Hall, who is a preeminent Black architect in our community. He understands art. He's already spoken with Miami-Dade County. He has a plan on how to unlock that $20 million. I'm going to the community to have a community meeting to find out what it is that they would like to see, because this is not about me. This is not about Commissioner King. This is about the community and what they would like to see happen in this space. And perhaps the master plan needs to be updated. I don't know. Whatever the community wants is what will happen there. But for sure, we are going to unlock that $20 million and build a museum out there, because that's what the community wants. That's what I hear Constituent Tuesdays. And they have said to me, and they speak to me like I'm their daughter or their sister or their cousin. And they're like, sis, just get it done. Get it done. And that is resoundingly what I hear. Get it done. It doesn't matter who is doing it. And I've heard it's time to pass the mantle. There's a time where it was your time, and now it's time for someone else to move it forward. And I believe that we have the right environment now to move it forward. It's unprecedented that the city of Miami mayor and Miami-Dade County's mayor have a relationship, an amicable relationship where we can work together. The D3 and the D5 commissioner has a relationship. And I have a relationship with the chair of Miami-Dade County. And I believe that these relationships will help propel this project forward. And, you know, while it's not something that I asked for or I wanted, it's here, and failure is not an option, because if I fail, the community fails. And that's just not an option for me.
What was the specific plan that you shared with Patrick Range before the county commission meeting that hasn't been spoken about publicly? Could you go into detail on that?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be able to appoint 5 members of the trust. And I another misconception, I believe, that the community has, because no one has bothered to share this information, is that every single member on the trust term had expired.
I was going to ask you, are there term limits for the board?
Yes, because other people want to serve. One vocal member of the trust was replaced before I even was elected. The mayor replaced his appointment with my pastor, Pastor Smith from Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. And every single one of the other trust members' term had expired. So if the commission wanted to, they could have just appointed someone new to represent them, because it wasn't a lifelong appointment.
Okay, have not heard that from anybody.
Oh, you could just do a public records request with the clerk's office and find out. There were specific terms for each of them, and all of their terms had expired. My colleagues had a concern about the project not moving forward, and rightfully so. It's been 18 years, and Patrick Range himself had said at the commission meeting that they didn't have the authority to get it done. So now perhaps we do, because we are leading the charge. And for me to move the agenda, I need one vote. That makes a majority, because I have 3. I need one vote. But again, this is about the community. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my colleagues. This is about preserving a space where Black people were only allowed to recreation. Only. You couldn't go anywhere else. So we have to be thoughtful in our approach to what happens in this space. Right now, it's an event space. It's an event space. And it is not being utilized. There's a whole generation that doesn't even know about this space.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
have
you have to go. Can we? No, it's cool. Thank you so much. Is it okay if I do some follow-up interview questions via email for the piece that I'm working on?
Sure, absolutely. You have my press secretary's information, correct?
Yes, I do. Jessica?
Yes. Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Hope you feel good about what we discussed. And yeah, we'll.
I do. And again, what you're doing is important, because you're giving information to a generation that might not necessarily find me, but you can disseminate the information and you can educate the community on what's happening in two ways, and they're both necessary. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to Trapping Ain't Dead.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Commissioner King.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Hello, News family. That was a very great interview. So in depth. Commissioner King, thank you for coming on the show. You were amazing. You were open. You were candid. You were honest. Honestly, guys, I wish you guys could have saw our off-camera interview, because she was coming with so much energy and so much fun and just, realness, that I was like, man, okay, this is gonna be a good interview. And honestly, I love that we had a back and forth. We had a rapport. She was talking about things that I said that, wasn't accurate, or things that she felt like she needed to defend. But she also praised the fact that, myself and Munch, with our podcast with Trapping Ain't Dead, and also to the platform of High Low News, that we're informing young people in the community. So I really appreciate her for being so honest and so candid and being open to come onto the platform and share her story. Hopefully she'll be back to tell us more things that she's doing in the community and to give us her honest opinion and her perspective on things that's going on on the work that she's doing. So again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go to highlowNewsMiami.com. Follow us, subscribe to our email newsletter, follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the things. So follow us there. You can get all that information on our website on highlowNewsMiami.com. This has been another great episode. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in today. This is really, really good. Thank you again, Commissioner King, for taking the time to speak with us. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.